Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Tammy Slaton rocks out, embraces new nickname. Tammy Slaton had quite the turnaround at the end of season 3 1,000-pound sisters. It was revealed to fans that she is now in rehab because she sent herself there. While in rehab, she seems to be having fun on TikTok. Now she is embracing a new nickname and rocking out. Tammy Slaton rocking out. During her time in rehab, Tammy Slaton seems to be spending a lot of time on the video app, TikTok, along with other social media apps. This time, Tammy is rocking out and embracing a nickname TikTok gave her. In one TikTok filter, it gives participants a randomly generated nickname. Her favorite nickname was one that called her Lil Kitty. Tammy was more than thrilled with that nickname and fully embraced it. Others it offered her were Da Disease and King Mommy. It's easy to see why she likes Lil Kitty so much. While playing with the filter, she was rocking out to music too. According to The Sun, Eminem's song My Name is playing while she records herself. Fans are less than impressed. While Tammy does seem to be doing well and having fun, some fans still fear she isn't taking this weight loss or time in rehab seriously. At the end of 1,000-pound sisters, it is revealed that the family was faced with making funeral arrangements because Tammy got that close to dying. Fans of the show seem to have hoped that that would have set Tammy straight. "Girl, didn't you almost die? Are you good?" One fan comments on the video. "You almost died and on TikTok," another says. Luckily, Tammy does have some support from other fans. Hopefully, the ones who are doubting her don't derail any good work she has already put in. She seems to be in a fragile state. Too many negative comments might drag her back down. By the end of the show, she had lost over 100 pounds. There's no telling exactly when that was filmed. So, hopefully, she has lost even more and will continue to lose weight once she gets home, so she can get her weight loss surgery and finally be healthy again. Tammy Slaton never expected that a nickname would change everything. But that's exactly what happened the night the crowd started chanting it back to her. The old Tammy, the one who hid behind closed doors, who felt safer inside four walls than out in the world, wouldn't have believed this version of herself was real. But here she was, standing in the middle of a dimly lit community center that had been transformed into a makeshift concert hall, with flashing colored lights borrowed from a high school theater club and speakers that rattled the folding chairs lining the walls. She wasn't the main act. She hadn't planned to be anything close to it. She was just supposed to sit in the front row and watch. The event was meant to be inspirational, a gathering for people who had been through major life changes. Weight loss, recovery, second chances. There were guest speakers and musicians, and most of the attendees were people who felt like they were finally stepping into the light after years of feeling invisible. Tammy had been hesitant to go. Crowds still overwhelmed her. Noise still spiked her anxiety. But something had shifted lately. A quiet strength had been growing inside her, and she didn't want to hide anymore. That's how she found herself clapping along to a local rock band's cover of an old classic song. The beat thundered in her chest. The guitar screamed in a way that felt almost freeing. Her foot started tapping without her telling it to. Then someone noticed. A woman in the row behind her leaned forward and laughed warmly. "Look at you," she said. "You're rockin' harder than the band." Tammy felt heat rise to her face. "I don't think so." "Oh, I know so," another voice chimed in. "You got that rock star energy." The word echoed in her mind. Rock star. She tried to brush it off. She wasn't that. She was just Tammy. Just someone learning how to exist in her own skin. But the band did something unexpected. The guitarist spotted her from the stage. Maybe it was the way she moved without fear, or the way she smiled like the music was doing something real to her. He lifted his microphone and said, "Let's give it up for the real rock star in the front row." The spotlight wasn't real, but the moment felt like one had found her. The crowd turned. Claps started slow, then louder. Someone shouted, "Rockstar Tammy." Her heart slammed into her ribs. She wanted to shrink, to disappear, to pretend she hadn't heard it. Instead, she stood. Her legs shook, but she stood anyway. She raised her hands and gave a tiny, playful bow. The room erupted. That was the first time she heard it, her new nickname. Rockstar. It followed her home. She joked about it that night, telling herself it was silly, just something fun that happened. But when she looked in the mirror later, she didn't see the frightened version of herself she'd known for years. She saw someone glowing. Someone alive. The next few days she leaned into it. She bought a cheap black jacket with small silver studs across the shoulders. She found an old pair of boots tucked away in her closet and polished them like they were brand new. When she left the house, she felt different. Lighter. Bolder. People noticed. At the local grocery store, the cashier smiled and said, "You look like a rock star today." Tammy laughed. You wouldn't be the first person to say that. She started calling herself that in her head whenever fear tried to creep back in. You're not scared. You're a rock star. It wasn't just about clothes or confidence. It was about something deeper. A shift in how she saw herself. She had spent so many years labeled as the struggling one, the sick one, the one to worry about. People spoke about her like she wasn't in the room, like her story was something fragile that might break if handled wrong. But Rockstar Tammy wasn't hide from the world. They faced it head-on, even when their hands were shaking. One afternoon, she found herself standing in front of a mirror in a small thrift shop. She picked up a pair of oversized sunglasses and slid them onto her face. "Who do you think you are?" she whispered to her reflection. The woman in the glass looked back with a smirk. "I'm a rock star." She wore the nickname like armor after that. When she walked into doctors' offices, she walked taller. When she heard whispers of doubt, her own or someone else's, she imagined the echo of a cheering crowd instead. She even started playing music at home. Loud music. The kind that filled up every corner of the room and pushed the silence away. She sang along, badly and loudly and fearlessly. For the first time in her life, she wasn't embarrassed by the sound of her own voice. It didn't mean her life suddenly became perfect. There were still hard days. Days when her body felt heavy. Days when old fears showed up uninvited. Days when she didn't feel strong or brave or anything close to a rock star. But then she'd remember the chant. Rockstar Tammy. Not because she was flawless. Not because she never struggled. But because she got up. Because she tried. Because she kept choosing herself again and again, even when it was hard. The real test came when she was invited to speak at a small motivational event months later. The old Tammy would have made an excuse. She would have canceled. She would have told herself she wasn't inspiring enough, strong enough, healed enough. This time she said yes. She walked onto a small stage, heart pounding, lights warm on her face. The crowd was smaller than that concert night, but it felt just as big to her. She grabbed the microphone with both hands. "They call me Rockstar Tammy now," she said, voice shaking just slightly. Soft laughter rippled through the crowd. "I used to think nicknames were just words, just jokes. But this one reminded me that I'm allowed to be loud. I'm allowed to take up space. I'm allowed to be seen." The room went silent. "I'm not perfect," she continued. "I still struggle. I still get scared. But I don't let fear decide who I am anymore. I decide that. And I decided. I'm a rock star." The applause felt like a wave crashing over her. It wasn't about ego. It wasn't about attention. It was about acceptance. Later that night, alone in her room, she peeled off the studded jacket and set it carefully over the back of a chair. She looked at herself one more time in the mirror. No crowds. No music. No flashing lights. Just her. And she liked what she saw. She touched the glass softly and smiled. "Good night, rock star," she whispered.